This is Snakes and Otters, a pointless discussion of eternal questions. Get ready. We're about to live in your head rent-free.
Good morrow, Otterites. I am Martin.
And I'm Robert.
And I'm Andre.
So, again, a cozy episode with just the three of us here at Studio M. Francis, we believe, is kind of secret, so he hasn't really told us a whole lot, but he's been called away to assist Papa Leo with something. There's either an orgy or an insurrection on the Danube where
The Imperator.
the Imperator is. And
or both.
Cajun and Mrs. Cajun, the pirate queen, are getting their pirate galleon put together, getting the hawsers and the sheets and the cannonballs all set for some kind of incursion into Georgia.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll be back to a more normal state with next episode. But
yes. Although I'm sure that our audience, listeners, you are truly enjoying just the three of us.
hey, this is super fun because it feels OG-ish.
It does.
Even without Francis. Brother Andre is doing a hell of a job.
You have stepped up your game, sir.
Yeah,
these last
he's
several
right there.
episodes.
All I need to do is make sure I drop a Spock quote here and there, and then
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
it'll
go.
definitely be OG.
So yes, and I'm counting on the guys this time. I feel like I kind of let them down with last episode as captain. Kind of let us ramble with our hoopy-jubiest of all hoopajubes for an hour and a half, and I probably shouldn't have. But
Well, but that was because this is kind of last minute. Because the things that we had
we didn't decide
scheduled-
this until last
Yeah.
night.
Because we have been struggling the last couple of months because everybody's either been traveling or
Yeah.
had commitments we couldn't get out of.
Yeah.
That has made it hard for more than three of us to get together. And
Yeah,
even
for sure.
this has been a little difficult. Like Brother Andre's got to be out of here at what time is it? You
You got something at 2, right?
So you got to be
Yeah,
out by
2 o'clock,
right?
Yeah.
12:30, 1 o'clock at the latest, something like that.
1:30.
1:30.
Okay. Well, I didn't know where you had to be or what you had to do. So, but anyways, it's been very difficult, and so we've put off.
Well, he's
the
he's got to
Napoleon-
feed the hungry or something at 2
That's
o'clock.
right. Yeah, it's some left wing crap like feeding the hungry.
He's got some of that Jesus shit that he's got to do.
Ooh,
That's harsh, isn't it?
that's a little harsh, but that
I'll take it.
But we've had to put off the Napoleon episodes
Yep.
that Francis was going to captain, which I know he is just chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some sexual excitedness metaphor we could use there, but we'll just.
I wasn't
pass.
gonna go there, but thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking. We've had to put off the.
Robert and I share a brain, listeners.
We do, and when we share a couch, it's even worse.
You two need to separate.
Well, we're like 10 feet apart
Yeah.
here.
But they didn't know that.
Then we've had to put off the Mick episode. Great Mick Williams. He's a local author by way of England.
Yep.
that
Stoke
we've-
on Trent.
we met him at Imaginarium, and just a great guy to talk to. We had to put that off, and this month was also going to be our History's Douchebags episode, our next installment of that we've now put off. So we got a lot of. When we get back together, listeners, you got some good stuff coming up.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think we need to do a Habsburg part 2.
Well, I almost think that we should mention the Habsburgs in every episode just to see what happens.
Just to see if it gets downloaded. I mean, there must be some kind of academic thing of go find someone talking about the Habsburgs in German history thing, and they just stumbled across that. And
I mean, it is our
Downloaded
most
crazy.
downloaded episode by far. It's like almost 3.5 to 1 to the next, which is the one that Bjorn was on.
yeah,
It's totally left Bjorn's episode in the dust, which he had the #1 episode for a long time.
yeah, Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yes, Ragnar Lothbrok. Yeah. So, but again, history episodes,
Yeah.
they tend to be our most popular.
There is a growing possibility, not a sure thing, growing possibility that Bjorn will make his second visit home right after Christmas.
Excellent.
We're pushing hard.
He will be solo this time.
We're like whatever it takes, brother.
Oh,
Just
I
come.
didn't know if there were plans. He's like, oh no.
He's got to go talk to her
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
figure it out.
Right, because Christmas would not, because she's not Christian, so wouldn't
I mean,
necessarily be
there's still like a school and work break around
Sure.
Christmas.
I'll buy her a bucket of KFC if she comes home for Christmas.
Okay. I know he is, of course, anxious to meet Brother Andre. He's not met Brother Andre.
Right. And of course, Bjorn is newly Catholic.
Yeah, so he has a million things he wants to talk to all the three of you about. And he misses trigger time.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
yeah.
he does want to come home and shoot some guns.
Are there no private ranges or like Knob Creek or anything like that?
It would be very difficult. I'm not sure how.
I think the ranges would be easy. The possession of firearms would be more difficult.
Well, yeah, because I don't know what the law is over there as far as firearm ownership.
I'm sure the range would have to own the firearm, and then they may not let someone on a visa, a foreigner, even rent them. Because it's a crime to even possess ammunition, not just the firearm.
Wow,
Oh,
really?
wow.
Like he was like, make sure there's like not even like an accidental empty brass in my suitcase,
Right.
because I'd be in huge trouble touching down at the airport with just empty brass.
Right. So this is a great example of what I had mentioned in one of maybe a couple of our episodes talking about. I don't know what it would have been, but I know I've talked about this, where you don't have a history of private gun ownership.
Yep.
Has been, like in Europe, in Japan, China, Asia, most of the world where that is not the case. It's because you've had tyrants that has made sure that the populace has been de-armed.
You could not challenge the ruling authority.
Exactly. Whereas that's the entire basis of our country is challenging the ruling authority with
Like,
guns.
no emperor's ever been, shot
Right.
to overthrow him.
Yeah. I mean, the nephew has of the emperor, but that's not our emperor. I was
So
thinking.
the point being, but boys, cross your fingers and help me, and let's see
Yes.
if we can't get Bjorn to come home, and possibly we get him to appear on an episode and get him to discuss his current sojourn in Japan and his conversion and all of that stuff. I think it would be an interesting episode.
I think it would. It's maybe a little bit more personally serious than we've done in a
Yeah,
while. But
I will give a personal tour of St. Martin of Tours with the skeletons of St. Magnus and Benosa.
he would. I think he would love.
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And of course, other than trigger time, the other main thing he misses is Cajun's food.
I would say
Oh,
mom's home
I
cooking.
thought
but
it was
then-
Chick-
No,
Chick-fil-A.
no. Well, Chick-fil-A, but smoked meat,
Yes, yes.
Cajun's meat.
Everybody loves Cajun's meat. I mean, come on,
It's good to have in your mouth.
it is. It is. Anyways,
I feel like I just told a joke he would tell right there. So
well, it's-
Hold that thought.
I like that. So anyway, the meat of this episode
Oh, nice. Good one. Nice one, Centurion. Liked it.
is, of course, Code of Honor. So I'm springing this quote cold on everybody, and
Thank you.
I have a little bit of a Francis setup here.
So 20 minutes.
I'll try to do it in less.
Okay.
So
Sorry, Francis.
as
love
I
you.
have mentioned, I am currently reading, and I'm plowing through it slowly, but Arthur Herman's The Cave and the Light,
Oh, yes.
Plato versus Aristotle, and the struggle for the soul of Western civilization. I am coming more and more and more to feel like this is the best book I've ever read.
So you need to listen to a podcast called Philosophize This,
Yes.
because this guy goes through the history of philosophers and he talks a lot because he starts with the
Right.
state of philosophy before these guys.
Yeah.
And then talks about them and goes, it's good stuff. You will love
Yeah, because it springs from Socrates, and then these two guys, of course, take two different, approaches to Socrates essentially, and split off. And history is a pendulum swinging back and forth between their two approaches.
Even in the church.
Yes, and the church is very, very much considered Neoplatonist, and that's all dealt with in here, and it's awesome. But I'm up to America now.
Oh,
So I just plowed through, Marx and Rousseau and Nietzsche, and this is the best on Nietzsche I've ever read.
okay.
Actually makes Nietzsche make a little bit of sense. So,
So dealing with what Nietzsche actually wrote, not
yes.
the bastardization that his
yes,
sister did.
yes.
Okay.
And so discussing where he was really trying to go with the will to power, and then it was kind of chauvinist, and it was kind of pretty much selfish and about being a little bit above other people, but not ethnically.
Right.
You know, it was a
I
personal
am personally
drive.
better than you, not ethnically better than you.
Yes, exactly. You know, is a personal
That's an acceptable
drive,
viewpoint.
and you know, essentially drives Nietzsche insane. But being on to America, it's very awesome, and he's discussing now Thomas Reed.
Oh.
So Thomas Reed is, of course, common sense realism.
Okay.
So you're into America and the idea of common sense realism that, look, yes, there are things we have to strive to figure out, but common sense tells us the chair I'm sitting in is real. I don't really need to contemplate the existence of this chair.
Right.
It's here. Let's move on.
So kind of throwing out the whole cave and light thing. It's just a damn chair.
Yeah, it's you know, there are pieces that our common sense tells us are real, and now we can move on. So I was like going through this, and I'm like, oh, this is such great material for quotes. And I was going, oh, maybe I'll do a de Tocqueville, or maybe I'll do a Madison, or maybe I'll do a Thomas Reed. And then I just couldn't quite, you know, grab onto one. And then I stumbled across something that just popped back in my head yesterday.
Good timing.
So all of us have read, well, Brother Andre may not have read it, but of course, Francis and Robert and I have all read Chuck Heston's autobiography, In the Arena.
Yep. Good book.
And for some reason, bizarrely enough, the stuntman, Yakima Canutt,
Oh yeah.
comes into my head. And so that is today's quote
From Yakima?
from Yakima Canutt,
Oh.
the stuntman,
okay.
famous stuntman.
God bless you.
He was, of course, by the time he worked on Ben-Hur with Chuck Heston, he'd already been doing stunts in Hollywood for like 40 years.
Oh wow. So he's like one of the original guys.
Yes, yes. I mean, he designed how to do stunts safely, and would like work for another 20 years after Ben-Hur. So you're talking about like a 60-year career in Hollywood. It's
Wow.
crazy. He was breaking Broncos. He was originally a rodeo guy from the West. He was breaking broncs at 11.
Wow.
Holy crap.
I mean, that's one tough dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a tough dude. So here is today's quote. Chuck, you just make sure you stay in the chariot. I guarantee you're going to win the damn race. That struck me as this genius thing of common sense realism.
That is a wonderful analysis of success in life.
Right. I mean, it's a throwaway thing because, you know, he'd worked with Chuck for weeks on the chariot scene. And Chuck is kind of backing.
Yeah, because
and
he's
filling.
actually in that chariot.
Yeah, he's backing and feeling. It's like, you know, Yak, this is, yeah, okay, I'm feeling good about, but we've just been together. But during the scene, there's going to be like 8 chariots out there and all this other stuff. And he's backing and feeling. And Yak just goes, Chuck, just stay in the chariot. I guarantee you're going to win the damn race. And I'm thinking, like, wow, talk about advice for life. Just stay in the chariot.
Well, that
Just stay in
presumes
the chariot.
that presumes a lot of things. You know,
Yeah.
whether the chariot is going in the right direction, you know,
Yeah.
and the race is not fixed. I mean,
Yeah.
or that it is fixed. I mean,
Yeah.
depending on how you look at that.
But there's a lot of life that is just stay in the chariot, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't give up on yourself. Stay in the chariot.
Persistence leads to success.
oh, persistence. I just preached on persistence.
Yeah, we all did. I did last week too.
Because it's kind of scheduled, isn't it?
It is.
We had 3 weeks of persistence, and we go into a different topic this week.
Yeah, you know, we're in that late stretch of Sundays where the preaching honestly gets harder, and it's just I'm not a big fan of these last few months as far as topics, just because it's almost like this is the stuff that's like, well, you know, it doesn't really fit in necessarily in any other season, but we got to get through all of this just to, you know, make sure we cover it. It's not entirely true, but it just feels like that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, they're not always the easiest weeks to preach, and yeah. Anyways, but that I think that's a good analogy, though, Brother Andre. That you know, persistence is key.
Yeah, certainly there are a lot of other aspects to personal success, however you define that. And personal success isn't always, oh, I got a raise or I got money, but sometimes it's just plain old, hey, I had a tough project, I finished it, I'm very proud of it,
Or I got through that book.
or I got through that book or whatever.
Regardless of how you define success, you have to be present to be successful.
Right. So
And
just tell Mrs. Andre, stay in the chariot.
I
Stay
will.
in the bodice. I don't know, something like that.
or take it off.
Listeners, if you weren't with us last episode, Brother Andre revealed that Mrs. Brother Andre is riding a bodice ripper. So this is fascinating to me.
She may not like that description, but that was the one that we used. So
I mean, that's the common industry term because she is trying to set, this on the moors of England kind of feel, the 19th century and the whole
The
Regency era.
Regency, Jane Austen kind of stuff here. She's setting it in that. So, there may be a character named Heathcliff and
Keira Knightley's going to star in it.
Or Heath Andre.
Heath Andre.
so I've been very fascinated by this whole thing about she's riding a bodice ripper. So
yeah, I think
Terrific,
Mark
terrific.
is going to be the first one to buy a copy when it goes on sale.
yeah.
But the thing about the state.
And again, I reiterate, she's got two sources to interview that can really give her some good ideas.
That's true. I mean, she really wants to. Kink sells. Look at 50 Shades.
Yeah, but I'm not sure we
50
want
Shades of
fur-
Heathcliff.
I'm not sure Furbies would fit in well with.
Hey,
the
leave those
Regency.
furries alone. We might have a developing one over in the
I saw
Robert
this.
household, yes.
That was gravely concerning
Well, depends on.
because you can't have just one furry.
Well, I think you can.
Somebody else has to be one too.
Well,
I don't even want to know what
There could be a
defines
little-
fur pile.
There could be a little, not exactly BDSM, but a little bit of.
I mean, I don't think there's any such thing as self-scritching, but maybe there is, but
Well, have you ever seen a dog lick itself? Yeah, there is.
Do you know why a dog licks itself?
because it
Because it
can
can.
reach. Yeah.
Because it can. But it's anyways. Let's just say that the jury is still out as to whether or not the furry costume will make another appearance. Mrs. Robert works at a particular hospital here in town that has its on-site daycare,
And it's not the psychiatric one.
and it is not. And every Halloween, leading up to Halloween, they do a big event for the kids in the daycare where they hand out candy and stuff, and everybody dresses up. Well, she was dressed as a lion, so we'll see whether or not the costume. I call her.
Nala?
Pardon?
Nala?
She didn't say. I think it could have just been a nod to the Detroit Lions. Could have been something like
No,
that.
No,
no.
I don't.
She's Nala, you're Simba.
It's good to be the king.
the
We
king looks like the piss boy.
I think the rest of this episode, I'm going to call you Simba.
Okay. So, but anyways, we'll see where that goes.
Okay. Good.
So, what was the? Oh, yes. Stay in the chariot.
Chuck, just stay in the chariot.
So the thing I like about that is not just because I think if you take it, just stay in the chariot because we already know you're going to win. I think that can lead to a false sense of security.
True.
If you're not careful. But what I think I like best about that was stick with what you know. Okay. And it's not to say you can't stretch. I don't mean that. Because if you're going to take on any endeavor, you should endeavor to know what you're getting into. You just don't jump in on a lark. But I think stick with what you know. Stick with the plan. Obviously, the chariot overturns. You find a new chariot and stay in that one.
Or you write the chariot that you were in and continue riding it.
Yeah. Although if chariot overturns, it's likely broken. But yes, I get your point. Yes. So there's a little bit of persistence to that, but there's also a little bit of trusting the process.
Yeah. The famous trust the process. The sports metaphor of, we have a plan for building the team. Stay with us. We're going to get
Yep.
there.
Yep. We know it looks bad now. We know we went 3-13-1 and then started out 1-6 the next season, but look at us now.
Or 2-7.
So yeah, and again, this the other part being what's going on in Chuck's protestations, and there's a value to, hey, screen out that stuff. Just
Right.
stay in the chariot. Going through this, we all go through this probably at work, especially if you're, if you're a change agent at your work.
Ooh, nice buzzword.
Um, as people in IT often are,
True.
we're the ones advocating for the new ways of doing things.
Yes.
And there always seems like there's 100 reasons not to make a change.
Yeah, you know what my favorite reason for not making a change is?
What's that?
We've always done it this way.
Nope. The new way is too many clicks.
Too many clicks. Yeah.
I mean, I've literally heard that as a reason to not institute something. It's like, yes, this may be 2 more clicks in your process that you might do 100 times a day. But really, I don't think that adds a whole lot, especially because when you look at the back end, it saves you more time elsewhere.
Yeah.
Or it gives us better data. It makes,
Yeah.
that
That is one of my hugest all-time objections is people take a very narrow focused view on a process improvement. And how does this affect me?
Yep.
Yes, okay. Maybe it's not the easiest thing on you, but you have to look at process improvement organization wide.
People don't do that.
And they don't do that. It's like, yes, I can make your life easier by doing what you want, but what you want is just to dump your work on someone else.
Right, but
You're not making their life easier. You're making your life easier, yes, but you're not improving the organization as a whole.
to be fair, they're seeing it in the exact opposite. You're trying to dump your work on me to make your life easier.
I have to do 2 extra clicks 100 times a day. That's going to be 200 extra seconds.
Right. I mean,
200, milliseconds. But in viewing the process as a whole, we can reduce the steps the entire organization takes.
You have to show
and
me
things
the
are
benefit
faster.
to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, and so that's one of the challenges, and it is something you have to do. But that's kind of ongoing right now at my work. We've got something new. My boss is huge for it and is pushing it really big. He's invested in it, and it's really awesome to see.
Cool.
So it is terrific. But yeah, there are a couple of roadblocks. There are a couple of people they're just not going to get this.
well, as I always like to remember, the road to success is always under construction.
Yeah.
That's not a negative thing. It's just a reminder you got to work at it every day.
Yeah. But it's one of these things of Chuck, there's going to be 7 other chariots, but don't worry about that. And that's what I've got to remember this now at work of, there's going to be those things, but look, just stay in the chariot.
Now,
We're going to win the race because I can prove to you this is better.
right.
I can prove to you this is better. Yes, it's different. Yes, it's going to take a focused effort from you. You're not going to be able to do things the way you just lopping stuff over, because people are used to handing work off, just, drive by,
Mm-hmm.
throw it on the desk, throw a Teams message in, and now you're going to have to actually make a ticket in this system. But seriously, it's not difficult.
No.
And if you do it all at once in the system, then you're not backing and forthing in email and Teams and all this other.
Well, and I mean, you'll never get rid of all of that because you always need clarification. People are horrible about. So, from my experience,
Details, yeah.
2 things they're horrible about: picking the right kind of ticket,
Yeah.
because tickets are usually two most common types are incidents and requests. As I keep trying to explain to people, incidents are when things are broken or don't work as they're supposed to, not how you think they should, but how they're supposed to, or you want to change something,
Yeah.
or you want something new. And yes, you want to change the broken thing to make it work right, but that's still something that's broken, so it's an incident. A lot of people were putting in incidents because, you get to those faster. Yes, because when something's broken, we're supposed to fix it first. So, so that's one of the things that just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I was like, please do X. It's like, well, what do you mean by X? In what system? Over what time frame? What are the details that make up an X? It's a one-line sentence for something that, you may have verbally talked about, but I need it in the ticket.
Yeah.
I need it in the ticket. For one thing, my auditors are going to want to know some of this stuff. I need to be able to justify whatever changes I make.
Right. And that's part of the change we're making, is going from kind of this Wild West, no real accountability. We're just kind of trusting you to, hey, we're reducing the staff level.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's
No
another
choice.
reason why
No
you
choice.
need a ticketing system.
Yeah.
You can't keep track of everything without a ticketing system.
Yeah. And it's like we've got to have some accountability. And fortunately, there's some people on the team, especially one team member in particular. She is absolutely driving this. She's my hero. Just just adopted it as an early adopter and just run through. She's probably run through 200-300 tickets now.
Wow.
Just run, and just doing them, and is just a huge advocate for it. And
What's your ticketing system, by the way?
it's just the administration. The actual system.
Yeah.
It's just a Microsoft list.
Okay.
It's real super basic. We borrowed the list and the concept from another district. I've kind of refined it a little bit, kind of trimmed it to our needs a little, simplified it some. They had 4 or 5 different Power Automate pieces flowing from it. I got it down to 1 because it's like there's not all this need for all these other notifications.
Right.
And so,
yeah, the ones that we use, there's to track problems, and there's, some of these other things, and it's set up for ITIL, which, theoretically we do, but we don't really.
yeah.
And we don't use a lot of the features in our ticketing system. It's mainly incidents, requests, tasks and changes, and then tasks associated with the changes. That's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is basically that same idea of just, you need these support people to do this work for you. In the past, you've just emailed them, or you've Teamsed them, or you've done a drive-by at their desk. We have to have accountability now.
See, now that
We have to.
yes,
And so we're going to get it all in this ticket. We'll be able to judge now somebody that does 200 tickets a month versus somebody who's doing 50 tickets a month, but always screams about being so busy.
well,
We'll be able to get a handle on that now that we've just never had.
right, but you got to look at the kind of tickets.
Yeah.
Because if somebody who's doing 200 tickets a month is just resetting passwords all month, and the other person is doing 50 where they're actually doing some kind of
Reprogramming something.
process
Yeah,
improvement.
and we'll be able to tell that
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah.
Okay, this one type of task takes longer, but generally, most of these support tasks are pretty analogous.
Yeah.
Some take a little longer, but most do not. And we'll be able to tell. We'll be
So-
able to tell. And so this quote is very much, it just struck me as, you guys, listen, just stay in the chariot.
One of the things about that quote, and again, this is not where my mind goes, but I can see where people would do this. And it's like, stay in the chariot. That's right. So stay in the chariot and get rid of the stupid new ticketing system. Staying in the chariot is not always necessarily the best move.
I hear 2 of us hearing it different. One is saying stay in the chariot and trust the process, and then also I can interpret that as being stay in the chariot and be persistent, and you will succeed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's approaching it from 2 separate sides. From Martin's side, he's saying trust the process and it'll get done, and I'm saying trust the process. You don't have to worry about where you're going to finish because you're going to finish first.
I mean, again, keeping in mind the setting of allaying Chuck Heston's fears about how this is all going to play out.
Can I really win the race? Yes, Chuck.
Yeah, I read
Yeah.
the script. You're going to win.
Exactly. And so in life, what are they? What is it? 80% is 80% of genius is
It's showing up.
showing up, or all of those quotes about perspiration and inspiration and all that. A lot of life is just working at it, staying in the chariot, keeping on, keeping on.
Yeah, it's one of the things that younger generation, especially because their brains biochemically just work different.
They're so wired to instantaneous
Yes.
stuff,
Feedback.
instant gratification, instant
And the
feedback.
electronics, the screens have literally changed how our brains respond
Yeah.
to things from generation to generation. And the trust the process makes no sense to them, because if I don't get immediate results, however they define immediate, it's almost always shorter than it needs to be.
Yeah,
Then I need to do something else.
this must be broken.
And therefore we must burn it all down.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know, part of the things that I do onboarding new employees at our company is after I teach them the job, I have a personal aside with them and tell them if you are not investing in your 401k, you need to. And I pull them up a spreadsheet that I've been keeping since 1999, documenting my 401k balance. And I'm very open with them on what it is. And I remember September 19th, 1999 is my first entry. It's $7,900 in my 401k balance. And I show them how just showing up and investing in yourself month after month of every paycheck will result in you being able to retire with dignity. And I encourage them to do that. And
Now he's got $17,900.
not quite that much. But anyway, I show them that persistence and time of paying yourself pays off. And because a lot of younger employees think that they're never going to be able to retire with dignity, and going to the point, just stay.
A lot of us older employees think that.
Just stay in the chariot, and invest with every paycheck into your 401k.
I mean, a good number of our generation don't ever expect to retire. That's not an uncommon thing in our generation.
December 2026.
You have a pension because of your work.
Yeah, you're a government worker. You almost don't count.
Well, but that's changed in the 80s. They dumped
That is true. Yes.
They dumped that whole. What is the difference? Defined benefit versus defined contribution.
Yeah, something
You're
like
speaking
that.
a language I don't understand.
Well, defined benefit is a lot of state employees, state government employees are defined benefit, meaning
Right.
you don't have to put anything away.
Right,
they're
because
paying
that's
you.
already part of the
Yeah.
benefit package.
Yes. So, but defined contribution is what you're talking about, 401k.
Yeah,
And
I've
the federal-
I've never been in a business that had a pension.
So, yeah, the federal government's now a hybrid model. There is a pension, but they are not large, and they are counting on you to make sure you are putting money in the government equivalent of the 401k, the thrift.
That sounds very
savings.
dangerous, asking government employees to hold themselves accountable.
You know,
So yeah, so I do. Yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about 401k because I've been doing it. I've been doing it since 1988, putting it in the thrift savings plan. And when I walk out the door, there should be quite a bit of savings in it.
yeah, because you stayed in the damn chariot.
Yep, stay in the chariot. So I'm looking forward to walking out the door. The hard part is for all the things that are driving me out the door that aren't meaningful. This current project is very meaningful, and I will miss that.
Sure.
I would like to be able to.
You won't be able to complete it by then.
Oh no, it'll be way done. It'll be way done, but I'll miss the next one that's like it.
Well, and that's one of the things that I think is great about being in IT. Besides the fact that you get a lot of like-minded nerds, although sometimes
Yeah,
I look at some of the
too
people I
nerdy.
work with, and yeah, they're way. I mean, I'm a nerd. I've been to Star Trek conventions, but some of these people I work with, and it's like, ew, you need to get out of your chariot and get in this one over here, because
Yeah.
get out of your mom's basement. You're 30. Have you ever kissed a girl? That kind of thing. But one of the great things about IT work is it tends to be project oriented, where now support.
That's the most satisfying
Yes.
aspect.
There's
When
the-
you're not, it's very draining.
I mean, everybody, at least in my experience, has two parts to their job.
Yeah.
There's the day to day, make sure, anything that catches on fire, you put out. And hopefully keep the fire from starting. But generally speaking, you're putting out fires for part of your day. The other part of your day is the project work. And now, if you're a developer, almost your entire day is project work. Although most places, developers are also second or third line of support because they're the ones who know the code. But there's things that you do that have a defined beginning, middle, and end. And so implementing this ticketing project for you is a great example. Twice in the last 5 years, I have done major ERP upgrades at work, single-handedly, mind you. That I think that alone is a huge achievement in my opinion, because ERPs are literally everything from ordering our cards to sending out the invoices and paying our payables are done in this one system, and those are very satisfying when you get them done, or when you have a particular this doesn't work, and you put something together to fix it. Being able to do that to say, all right, I did X, and I know what X was, and I know when I was done with it.
Well, and you know the benefit.
Yeah, and there's a good reason.
It's like
why.
I'm the architect of this. I understand the benefits that we'll get from it. Again, I've got a upper management invested in it. They believe in it. It's going to be a positive change if I can get people to stay in the chariot.
Right.
To oversimplify your statement, job one is to put out fires. Job two is to make things fireproof so you don't have fires in the future.
Different fires.
Yeah.
Realistically speaking, they're just different fires, but yes.
Okay.
Because ideally you fix things in such a way that the fires you used to put out no longer even start. That's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is, analyzing where those fires have started before and what the other circumstances you have to work with to prevent them.
Yeah.
Including budget, including staff skills. I am a big cloud advocate. I'm driving my crew towards the cloud.
So did the courts get shut down when Amazon went down?
No.
AWS?
No.
Okay. We had issues.
Yeah. And I understand that there are IT people out there that don't like the cloud for that reason.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's like, look, for me, that's the reason to go there, is because now when there is a fire, I'm leveraging a fire department the size of New York City.
Right.
Versus if I've got it all internal, then the fire department's me.
Well, there's also
it's like I don't know what to do with this.
There's also a different risk though when you're talking about what we do, which is online transaction processing.
Yeah.
Versus court system, which is a more traditional business model in many ways, meaning what you generate is there in the office, and that's it. It may go somewhere, but it's mainly for the archiving, or it goes to another part of the same system.
Yeah.
For us, yes, the cloud is good for a lot of things, but it can have a disparate impact on our business if something goes wrong with the cloud. Whereas if the cloud goes down for you, well, is it an inconvenience or is it a business killer? So there are different risks.
Right. And it varies by the situation of the particular court unit.
Sure.
For some units, the cloud makes a lot of sense. For some, it doesn't as much. There are national systems. There are local systems. Unfortunately, and the courts are decentralized.
Right.
There are a lot of advantages to that, but in today's climate, I think it's a real hindrance because we don't get to have as much of a centralized defense against bad actors as we should.
Yes.
And that I'm not telling something out of school here. If you've read the news, this is in the news.
Sure.
It is in the news. I probably shouldn't even say that I anything about court system at all, but basically, bad actors on the national scale have penetrated different systems in the court.
Well,
so again,
you can use just about any large private company as an example too. I mean, you don't have to use the courts. I mean, how many? I mean, I must have had a half dozen or more emails in my inbox from the last year or so, saying, "Yeah, we're really sorry. We lost your data. It was lost in a breach. Somebody accessed it, and to make up for it, here you can have a 1 year subscription to this data protection company that they'll want to charge you for after the first year." It's like, yeah, that does nothing for me after the fact. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I keep getting all
Well,
these phone calls.
Our
and
privacy
messages.
our privacy laws in the United States for data protection are crap. You go to other countries and your data is used for a specific reason and protected in much better
The-
ways.
Theoretically, it is here. The problem with the way it works here is that whenever you give your contact, essentially it's either contact information or your credit card information. Theoretically, both of those are supposed to be secure. But where I think our privacy falls short is that, and I'm sure they can do this in Europe, but there's probably different rules around it, is that whenever we sign up, we're basically saying, yeah, you can do whatever you want with my data. And so sometimes you can opt out of that very explicitly. Sometimes that's very hidden, most of the time, probably.
In those 276 pages of
That nobody reads. Yes. Here's our terms and agreement. And, 99% of it's all boilerplate anyways. But the 1% that isn't tells you that, yeah, we're going to hold on to your data until we decide we want to sell it, is essentially what that 1% is. And how that may take form. Where we fall short is that we don't have, and again, I don't know that I would legislate this, consistent standards for how the data should be protected.
Speaking for since we're on an IT platform, I'm going to say a great thing that Apple has put out. One thing I have on my Apple iPhone is I can customize privacy emails. So when I sign up for something, it creates a
Yes, private
relay email. If I start getting spam email on this one particular email, I turn it off because what it does is it generates a random email and it forwards to my personal inbox.
Yep.
My personal email never goes out on the web. And so if I start getting email on, fallen.io.463@apple.com, I can just turn that one off and it doesn't affect
You know who is selling your data.
Yeah.
Is the point.
You know who's selling it, and you can turn that stream off.
So yeah, that is one of the things that it needs some work in managing. But you're right. That is one of the.
I have 139 emails set up for that.
Yeah. So yeah, whenever you sign up for something, that's one of the things that it asks. Do you want to use do you want us to give them your real information, or do you want to hide it?
Hide my email. I always choose that.
Yep.
All right. Smart stuff. Okay. So I guess we need to take a break.
Oh, are we already at bourbon break?
I would say we're
Bourbon break.
Are we 40 in? How far are we in?
43.
Really?
Good gauge. All right. So refresh my brains. Brother Andre, what did I pour you?
I poured I.W. Harper 15-year, and I'm going to sum it up with one word with 14 consonants. Smooth. It is good stuff. The initial taste was wonderful, wonderful mouthfeel. The only, if I had to give it a negative, it's sort of a one note on the taste.
Yeah, it's not super complex, but I mean, a 15-year-old's probably going to do that. It's
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of the longer age ones, I tend to see a lot more complexity in them.
Oh, you don't feel like it kind of mushes all of them together?
Not generally.
Okay, good.
Or maybe just what I'm interpreting as more complex is maybe just a richer experience. I don't know. Well, now we have to compare.
That dude's hard to find.
It is.
Where did you locate it?
This particular bottle, I think, came from your Kroger.
Okay, on
February.
Middletown. And
Generally,
what's the price point?
About 90.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can see that.
it's an expensive bottle. So come February, that's when I found it both times. Both bottles that I've had, I got one at my Kroger, Mount Washington, but I'm pretty sure one of them came from your Kroger. But only in February.
I'll go check out my Kroger liquor store in February. Nobody else do that.
Yep. So yeah, I.W. Harper 15-year-old. I first had that at the Sherwood.
Yes.
When they were having their closing party there a couple of years ago. They've now since reopened Awesome
Woohoo!
for the Sherwood in New
That's right.
Haven.
We need to do another road trip. To
Oh, love a
I
road
say
trip
next
to
time we go out
Sherwood.
to the ranch, we stop for
We're
lunch.
gonna have to.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, tried it there, and it's super smooth. 15-year-old. I have also poured a glass of it. Um, dark chocolate is what I kind of get from it, and I
Okay.
really like it. Very sophisticated flavor to me. I love it. Robert, what did I pour you, man?
You poured the Faithfully Crafted for me because I wanted
Oh yes.
to after Brother Andre's remarks. What did you say about it in the last episode?
Um, I said a lot of things about it, but
Yeah, I know, yeah.
baking notes,
Oh, that's right, baking
baked
spices,
spices,
and a citrus,
and
wasn't it?
yeah, a very light citrus
Yeah.
on the back end of the tongue.
So while we were doing I won't even say it was show prep because we were just BSing, talking about current state of politics
Current events.
in the time between recording episodes, and I drank at least half of what I was drinking while we were sitting there. So rather than pouring a third, I just kind of been nursing this, and I finished the Faithfully Crafted. The Faithfully Crafted is one of those bourbons where I really, even if they don't call it Faithfully Crafted, I hope they release this juice again and again and again, because this is it's just a great bourbon. It is, as you put it, it's smooth. Now I didn't get a little bit. I didn't get the reaction to the what I call the burn at the beginning that
Okay.
you did. It was more subtle to me. But also, honestly, I get a little bit of heartburn feeling with a lot of stuff that I eat in the last couple of years that I never used to. Which again, it's part of growing old. Every morning's a different ache and pain. But it's just one of those creamy flavors. I think is how I've described it.
Great
Yep.
adjective.
Yep.
Because it's got that wonderful blend of the caramel vanilla.
Kind of like
type
we
of
talk about
flavor.
with the E.H. Taylor. It's
Yeah.
a very similar profile to me and with my taste buds. You get kind of that buttercream icing, hint of vanilla, and then a tiny bit of like orange peel.
Yeah, yeah.
Very, very much.
Butterscotch.
Yeah.
Because again, these are all very incestuous flavors, for lack of a better word. They're all very related. Maybe the Faithfully Crafted is perhaps a little bit richer expression of those flavors, though, because I had the E.H. Taylor last time. It's one you can't get now because it was a limited release, but they're supposedly going to do 2 more. I don't know if they
Oh,
will.
really?
That was the original plan. Now, with
Well-
some of the hullabaloo over,
Will it still be endorsed by the archdiocese?
well, that was the original plan, because that was kind of the whole point of this was in partnership with the archdiocese. And I don't know that they're still going to do that, because there was some hullabaloo over the fact that
There was a certain pastor who was
there was more than one, but there was one who led
Yeah.
the charge. Some complained because for moral grounds, especially with alcoholism being an issue in the country among certain people and especially among priests, why is the archdiocese promoting this? It's like,
And financial circumstances change for distilleries, et cetera, et cetera. So there's no telling.
yeah, but it is one of
Supposedly, we're in a downturn in the market, and some distilleries are having some
Yes.
difficulties.
I think the exports being down has hurt them. I read yesterday or this morning, yesterday I think it was, year over year exports are down something like $57 million, which for you would think in a multi-billion-dollar industry that's not a whole lot. As an industry, no, but as when you spread that out over the individual distillers, that can be a lot of money.
And because of that, the Brotherhood has decided not to buy the recently for sale Four Roses distillery.
Well, if we can get them to discount from the 1 billion, we might.
If we can get them down to 900 million, we might invest.
We might swing that.
Do you think we could get a loan? Does anybody know anybody that works
Oh,
for a
that's-
hedge fund?
That's a pocket change. We'll just write a check.
We should be able to get some kind of leverage.
That
Leverage
401k,
loan, finance that.
Yeah, I mean, it's only $1 billion, billion here, billion there. Pretty soon, you're talking real money.
Who said that? Was that
Some politician.
Newt Gingrich?
No. I think it's older than that, but Um, but anyways, it's just I've not had something out of Log Still that I did not like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this is one of the best expressions they've done.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I do think domestic consumption is down also.
Well,
Everything
yes.
has its moment and then it fades a little bit.
Do you think
And
it'll bring down some of these ridiculous secondary market prices?
already has somewhat.
It'll maybe, but I think some things I don't think it will affect much, if at all, if only for this. Um, if where it's probably brought some secondary prices down, it's probably more like things like the E.H. Taylor, the Eagle Rare,
Yeah, the
Wellers.
mid-market ones.
Well, I wouldn't even call those mid market. I'd call those smaller market, just because those are the base level. You can go to the distillery and get.
Yeah.
Some things you can't go to the distillery and get, no matter what.
I mean, yeah, the secondary market for 23 Pappy is
It's going to be
high.
Yeah, I mean maybe not always, but it's going to be high. But something like a $100 bottle that retails for $100 that on the secondary market is maybe $250. Maybe that.
Yeah,
comes
those
down
will
to
start to trickle back.
but because fewer people chasing those, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, I mean, people realizing, okay, well, this is not like the super, whatever goof-proof investment that
Right.
they thought it was.
Or
yeah, it's investing in Beanie Babies.
right.
Yeah, I mean, just buy the bourbon and drink it, people.
You mean my Beanie Babies are worthless?
Probably.
I don't know. My dog likes to play with those sorts.
They
of
still have to have the tags on them, right? Is that what it was? That they
Yeah,
still have to
yeah.
have the tags, and then you got something.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that you can resell at a flea market is not an investment.
Well, you can resell anything at a flea market.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, like, you never viewed comic books as an investment.
no.
You just enjoyed them, and then whatever
I
happened
do still
happened.
regret selling my collection at times, just because it's I kind of miss having the boxes there. Not that I ever pulled the boxes out, almost never to
Yeah.
pull a stack out to read, because it's inconvenient. But yeah, I still kind of wish I hadn't.
But that's people approached comics as an investment. They approached toys as an investment. They approached bourbon
The
as an
90s
investment.
were the worst for
Yeah.
a lot of that.
Yeah, and it's just like, guys, these are not an investment. I know you heard somebody that came across Spider-Man #1 in their attic and sold it for $1 million. That doesn't mean these things are an investment.
In the early 90s especially, some comics, so when they first came out, and during the war, World War II, when the paper quality was the worst ever, they were selling multiple hundreds of thousands up to millions of copies per month of certain titles. And then after things crashed in the 50s and then started to build back in they never approached that for a long time. In the early 90s, they actually had a few comics hit over 1 million. One of them actually sold something like 7 million copies. And it was one of these things where they bagged it, and there's a little trading card or something like that inside of it. And people were buying that like crazy, thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be worth a lot." There's 7 million people. They're not worth.
There's no
anything.
scarcity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, Corvettes are worth buying. Chevettes are not.
I disagree. Anything with four wheels is not an investment.
Well, I mean, if you look across a Ferrari 250 California, it's worth putting a little money into it, because then it's going to be worth serious dough.
Well, that presumes certain things.
Scarcity.
Well, not just there is scarcity, because obviously there's only a certain number of those made, and of course we know one got driven out of a garage and now is at the bottom of a ravine behind a house
In Illinois.
in Illinois.
If you're going to ratchet it out of those woods.
Yeah, you're gonna have to put some money into that one, but it presumes certain things. One,
By the way, Ferris Bueller is heavily mentioned in my acknowledgments
oh,
in
excellent,
my book. So.
excellent. It presumes that one, that the economy can support that as a desirable thing.
Yes.
If we had another Great Depression, that is not something you want to put your money into.
Yeah, I mean, you guys talked last time, I think, about post-apocalyptic stuff. I was like, gold is an investment only because we all agree we like it and it doesn't tarnish.
Yep.
but in the event of some really bad stuff going down,
A can
there's-
of green beans is worth more than a pound
Yeah,
of gold.
yeah, I can't eat gold. I can't treat diseases with gold.
Yep.
So what's
first-
really going to be worth money or worth investing is medicine and food.
Right, the things you would have bought with that gold.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the hard goods. That's the stuff that has value.
Yeah, if you
because-
get to a barter economy, gold's not going to be worth anything.
no,
Gold, cash are just mediums of exchange.
they are. So, anyways, I don't know.
Yeah,
how
we're,
that
we're
would-
really into economic theory here with substitutes of value and fiat money and
That's right. Yeah, the old joke. Why do libertarians not like Italian sports cars?
because it's
'Cause
fiat.
They don't have
It's
one.
fiat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fiat money.
Yep. Still one of my favorite.
We've got to
jokes.
do that as an episode sometime too, is really delve into economic theory stuff.
Yeah, we should. I'm surprised we haven't really spent more time doing that. We've only
Yeah.
talked a little bit about
We
it.
just did a little with what was the quote that I had? The fella, the brother Andre reacted so strongly to, the French economist, the opportunity cost guy. Why am I
Oh,
blanking on?
yeah.
Uh,
Hell, I don't remember. My memory's like a sieve. at
yeah,
times.
you're winging everything anyway. So
That's right.
just stay in the chariot, Robert.
Chuck.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. If I did, I'd probably remember a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I upset you by disagreeing with your quote.
No, not at all. That was what made tension on the show.
Yeah, dude. If everybody agreed with each other, this would be a really boring show. I mean, some people might say it's boring anyway.
I mean, that's why our one of our Voltaire episodes I thought was like the best one we'd ever done, is Francis and I kind of clashing about Voltaire.
Well, I didn't. I mean, I've been probably the harshest on most of our philosophers, because I like to take their
Yeah.
positions to their logical conclusions.
And I think that's why we need to do Thomas Reed then, because I think that's one where again the idea is don't take it to this conclusion. Use your common sense.
Yeah, that's,
Common
it's
When
good.
you
common
well, it
sense
sounds like
realism.
if you go break into Thomas Reed, it's going to be going to the big, zooming out, looking at the big question. It's not the
Yeah.
analyzing the chair you're sitting in. Why are you sitting in the chair, or why is that chair in that room?
Well, because I need a place to sit. That's
Why?
common sense.
Why are you tired? Are you tired because of
It's
labor?
none of your business.
Well, if you're asking me to analyze the chair, yes, it is.
I didn't ask you to analyze the chair. The chair is just a chair. I think that's kind of his point, though. The chair is just a chair.
Yeah.
But as far as I want to get back to this quote because I'm mixed on the quote for this reason. Unless you're a strict Calvinist sort of fellow,
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily like the quote in the terms of the script isn't already written and guaranteed in life, and just because you're in a vehicle that's moving at a pretty good clip doesn't mean that's the right vehicle to be in or even a good vehicle to be in, because if you're headed off a cliff, you don't want to stay in the chariot, so to speak.
The good thing about chariots is you can steer them.
Well, but not everybody steers. And, and honestly, in a chariot, there's not really that much steering going on because you just basically follow the track. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's still, though, it implies, especially when you say you're going to win the damn race, it implies that the outcome is already known. Which, in the case of that movie, yes, of course he's going to win the race. It's in the script. The script, because I believe in free will, even though God may know exactly what's going to happen because he's outside of time, I don't, and neither does anybody else. So I'm a little wary of the quote in the sense that it seems to not leave a whole lot of room for improvisation. And improvisation and actually getting out of the chariot and maybe building an automobile instead is the driver of civilization, the driver of innovation.
Maybe
Right. So yes, that criticism of it as a a philosophical tenet on which to hang your hat, I totally understand. It does have a predetermined outcome. Again, a kind of a Calvinist thing to it. And we don't like predetermined outcomes because, again, it's like picking a winner and a loser. We don't want government picking winners and losers. So yeah, I understand. I think that criticism is valid.
That's not to say I don't like certain aspects of the quote. Don't
Right.
get me wrong.
Right.
I'll
Again,
disagree. I'll disagree.
Okay.
You know, you dress pretty funny on Sundays if you don't have a predetermined thing about winning the race. In a spirituality thing, when you die, you believe you're going to go to heaven.
I hope I'm going to have.
You hope you're going to go to heaven because you follow a certain path that you've been told will lead you to heaven. Be baptized into Christ and follow his examples. You know, if you don't believe that is true, you dress funny on Sundays. And so if you
Whether I believe that's true or not, I dress funny on Sundays.
if
Right.
if you stay in the chariot or baptized into Christ and do what he tells you to do, then you're going to win the race.
And the winning might not look the way you think it will,
So maybe we
but
define
it's still a
winning different.
win. Yeah. So I like. So I'm playing both sides here. I understand this criticism, and I get there's some truth in the kernel of that criticism, but also like Brother Andre's elasticity here in his definition of word boner. You know, what does it really mean to win the? I guarantee you're going to win the race. As a human, as long as I keep plugging away, and this kind of appeals to me on that Camusian level too, of
Nice.
the absurdist thought is, if you suicide out, that's not coping. That's you're just out. And so getting out of the chariot, you're just out. And that nothing there's no act of will there. There's no coping with existence there. You're opting out.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, on the one hand, yes, to really change and improve, yeah, you've got to get out of the chariot and build a car. But in the metaphorical sense of staying with life, seeking some way of coping with life, yeah, just stay in the chariot. You as men of faith,
that presumes you're in the right chariot.
yeah, but if all the chariots are alike, let's say let's have that as a philosophical starting point, that all the chariots are alike. You can't be in the wrong chariot.
Oh yes, you can.
If you just stay with life, stick with it, you are men of faith, stay in the chariot, you're going to win the race.
So
it may not look like what you conceive of right now as whether that's financial success or whatever, but in the end, your faith will pay off.
well, unlike some faiths, my financial success has absolutely nothing to do with my faith or my favor with God.
Right. And again,
And-
it's all about what you're defining as winning. here.
Right. And as far as Brother Andre's comment about dressing funny on Sunday, if I don't believe staying in the chariot is the correct move, I'm not saying I don't believe it's. I'm just saying that even whether or not I get into heaven is not a predetermined thing. I mean, God knows, but for me, it's not a predetermined thing. But speaking as a convert, I had to get out of one chariot to get into that chariot. So again,
Or did you steer your chariot differently?
no, I got out of one chariot and got into another. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If we take a reading approach here and say that our chariot is our life, then you have to steer your
Well,
chariot,
see, I
not
don't,
change chariots.
I'm not. That's not how I interpret.
Yeah, so I mean, I think your interpretation is valid. It's just different from where I got it.
Sure.
I'm just saying, yeah, life is your chariot.
No, and
Don't get out of life. Don't get out of the chariot. But take it again as I guarantee you're going to win the race if you just stay in the chariot. Your life is going to be okay if you keep working,
right,
and keep being a human who's driving towards the future.
right, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that as a
Yeah.
concept. I'm just saying that there's a lot of presupposition that goes into
Right.
the
There's
statement.
a
huge
an
amount.
epistemological starting point.
Oh,
Word
it-
boner.
yeah.
Is that where we are?
Well, yeah. And just to go from the other end, presumes a particular eschatological outcome.
Word
Yes, yes. So, yeah. All
Um,
right. So I just want to recap. We have taken an offhand comment by a stuntman to a Hollywood actor and discussed Calvinism and you got to pronounce it,
Eschatology.
eschatology and absurdism and Albert Camus.
predestination.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes in with the Calvinism.
Is there something wrong with us?
Or is there something right with us?
Yeah, there's something very right with this. I mean, I know what my wife would say,
We're full of bullshit.
um,
I just
but
think that's so fascinating. Again, I stabbed on this basically yesterday. I was like, well, this will be fun. I bet I could get Robert and Andre to talk for an hour about this.
absolutely.
And I was right.
Just an hour?
And again, we've just this offhand comment of stop worrying about shit, Chuck. Okay, you're the star of the movie. You're the star of the freaking movie. You're gonna stop worrying about the other 7 chariots. You're gonna win the race. Just this offhand goof thing, and just tied this into uh Western religious thought, Western sociological thought, just all of these.
What success even means?
Yeah, what's what's our common humanity starting point? What is winning? What is the nature of actually being a success? That's pretty fascinating to me.
It just goes to show that we either think way too much. Well, actually, they're not mutually exclusive, or we don't get out of the house enough. Maybe those.
Yeah,
Are
I
both
mean,
true. It's-
do we get out of the house enough? Do we get late enough? I don't know. Do we need
and in case my wife is listening to the show, I'm not going to answer that question.
exactly
In case
And-
Mrs. Brother Andre, we need to do more research for her writing.
research?
Absolutely.
Research for writing.
Matter of fact, Mrs. Brother Andre should commission studies amongst all of her friends, so that you get as much research as possible.
You need as broad a
available-
perspective on this
Exactly.
as possibly
exactly.
possible.
I will pass that word along.
You need to know about everything that's out there.
Absolutely.
I don't want to know everything about
Well, maybe not
sex
everything,
life.
but I'm certainly willing to do
I mean,
my job to help her research the book.
So, yeah, she has our backing,
Good. I'll
our
pass
our
that along.
firm commitment
Yes.
to
Absolutely.
all the assistance.
Tell
she
her
may
to
need.
stay in the chariot and keep at it.
And keep at it. Yeah, stay
right.
in the chariot.
It again, like I said, I think the quote is one that is a perfectly motivating kind of quote.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that would look great on one of those posters, but because my mind works the way it does or doesn't work the way it should, who knows? I start thinking about all of the stuff that goes into that
Right.
behind it. And
Again,
it does presume a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
But
it's
most short quotes do.
important not to go too far, but absolutely,
Yeah.
as a motivational thing for work or these kinds of
Or just life in general.
yeah,
you
in
know?
life is hey, there's a lot of value in just staying in the chariot. Keep at it.
Persistence.
Keep working at it. No, you may not sell as many as J.K. Rowling, but if you just get there, you won the race.
Right. Right. And that's a great example of where the definition of success is not universal. It's one of the things that in the 80s and 90s that used to drive me crazy about motivational gurus and people who were hawking their particular success product.
Tony Robbins.
No, not even talking about him. They almost always were defining success in terms of money.
In material, yeah.
And that is a piss poor definition, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, for a lot of people, that is the only definition. It's like, that's your definition. That's your definition.
Yeah, I mean, there
By
is
that
a
definition, Bernie Madoff made it.
exactly. Well, he lost it at the end. So, he was successful for a while.
yeah, money can't buy happiness, but it can make misery more palatable.
Very true. Very true. You can endure misery when you're rich a lot better than when you're poor.
Yeah.
especially when a lot of your misery is because you're poor. I mean, let's face it.
You can find some ways to channel yourself into some new activities if you've
I
got.
don't know. There's some saints who gave up riches to become poor that
Yes.
found true happiness.
Yes, I didn't say all.
Mother Teresa, Albert Schweitzer.
I didn't say all poverty causes misery.
Okay.
I'm just saying a lot of poverty does cause misery. A lot of misery is rooted in people's poverty.
Yeah. When you're hungry.
Yeah, when you're hungry,
hurts.
not a whole lot else matters. When you're hungry, you're going to stop that chariot and slaughter the horse so you can have something to eat.
Yep.
And is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, you can't really win the race if you're dead. So,
Right. Again, that whole Camusian.
yeah,
What's rebellion against the absurdity of the world? And if your rebellion is to opt out, you've not really coped.
If you opt out, you're never going to win the race.
Right. It's all about coping. It's all about dealing with reality.
Well, I'm Gen X. My way of coping is just to shove it down in the center of my being and try and hide it.
Yes.
Rub a little dirt on
Swallow
it.
it,
keep going.
swallow it.
Yeah. Well,
And then cook and then cook some fries in the fry daddy.
That's right.
Unsupervised.
Unsupervised.
So I guess we probably wound this one down to about an hour 15, are we?
1:11:11.
I'm pretty good. So I think we ought to probably call it a day.
That's probably not a bad idea. I was about to ask you what's next, but we have no freaking clue.
Yeah, again, our hoped for what's next is Mick, the writer from Stoke-on-Trent, who now lives in Fern Creek, but we've got to confirm all that, confirm his availability, and hopefully
So can we technically say
Francis-
he's from Fern Creek on Cox's Creek?
Oh,
not really. Cox's Creek is in Nelson County, right?
It's somewhere between Fern Creek and Bardstown.
well, that's a pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, I
Stretch,
think
yeah.
Stoke-on-Trent is a single place, but that's something to ask him when we talk to him.
Yeah.
But if not, then maybe if Francis is back, then maybe it'll be Napoleon.
Yes. If we can't get Mick, I guess we'll have to let Francis have his Napoleon, his one of two Napoleon episodes.
I can't believe we're going to talk
Well,
about
we
Napoleon
guarantee
for
a
2 episodes.
riveting discussion on matters of the mind.
Well, at least for the second episode, anyway.
I mean, it'll be riveting to us. Nobody else may give a shit, but
Well, I mean, if people are going to listen to the Habsburgs, maybe they'll just go ape shit over the Napoleon
yeah,
episodes.
maybe.
You never know. Our Rome episodes were pretty good. I mean, they don't approach the Habsburgs or the Lothar.
Lothbrok.
Lothbrok.
Ragnar
Lothbrok.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. And again, very, very hopeful. Cross your fingers that we can perhaps in late December record a January release episode that includes Bjorn, and that would be a conversion story
I would very much
and a story of living abroad.
I'd very much enjoy meeting him. In the event he does not come home, can we do a worldwide telemeeting and record?
That'd
he's
be,
asleep usually by the
That'll
time
be
we're-
tough. Yeah, because I mean, we were talking to him this morning, and of course, it's Saturday night, and he's Saturday night in Tokyo, and he's talking to his mom. So I mean, that's a good boy. That's
Yeah.
a good son.
He's a
That's
good
a good
son,
son. So
Yeah. Well,
38 million people, and he's taking time out to talk to mom.
No telling where he's at or when he's talking to her, but
Yeah,
well, it's quiet enough for him to be able to talk. So
yeah, and he will not talk when he's out somewhere.
that's considered rude in Japanese culture.
Well, and he was like that even before going. He was just, if I'm out with somebody, I don't want to. He's just kind of like, I don't want to take calls. And
yeah, but his generation doesn't like to take calls to begin with.
yeah, they don't.
I mean, if somebody calls on the phone, they're worried somebody else has died.
Yeah, so they're in the now.
Well, hold on,
so.
we said, is that another racist thing if you take a phone call?
Probably,
Probably.
or bigoted in some way.
All right, so we have a what's next, and we'll see you next time, Otterites.
We hope you enjoyed another pointless discussion of eternal questions. Remember, new episodes drop every second and fourth Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern, just in time for your morning commute. And every fifth Friday, we drop a special Hoopajube episode. Spread the word we are on all the major platforms, and leave us a review. That helps others find us. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as our website, snakesandotters.com. Join us next time, same snake time, same otter channel.